I'm worried that we're losing some of the complexity of the debate, that we're getting into kind of sloganeering where we say, let's get all of our resources to Tidewater. And I'm saying, yeah, okay, but there's a reason why it takes a long time in Canada. And that goes to some of our values.
So you've covered a lot of ground there, as have my colleagues. And I would say, I guess, three things. First of all, about overlap between the two front runners in this election campaign about what is the way forward, and the difficulty of making internal trade and international trade replace what is happening with our relationship with the United States. We talk a lot about why haven't we done something about internal trade before? And maybe there's an argument to be made there, but Trevor Tim himself, since he is referenced in almost every economic conversation in Canada these days, has pointed out numbers that were generated in 2015. And we have reduced a lot of the internal trade barriers, and we are not going to get a big bump in GDP or jobs if, in fact, our industrial capacity is stripped because of what is happening with the United States. We are a branch plant economy. A number of these companies that have industrial capacity, that are doing steel, that are doing aluminum, that are doing auto, that are doing the things that these two men on my panel with me are talking about, the goods part of the economy, are owned by Americans, and they may not stay in Canada because of the uncertainty of being able to sell back to the market that they are producing for. So I think that is a huge issue. Secondly, the idea that we can be an energy superpower. We are an energy superpower. The question is, who owns us? This is, again, a foreign ownership question. And we have been selling energy capacity to China, and we will be shipping LNG to Asia, and that will make us, again, a superpower. But again, whoever it is that owns us takes our profits. And this is not a job-intensive sector. It's a capital-intensive sector, which brings me to my third point. Everybody is talking about investments. We need more investments. Our public pension plans, the Maple 8, are the biggest single source of public capital, and they come from workers, but they're mostly invested overseas. We have typically relied on foreigners to invest in this capacity. The Ring of Fire story is a case in point. If it's so profitable, if it's so critical, why didn't they come into Canada and develop these things yet? Because we did not pay for the road to take it out of there. The taxpayers did not pay for the private sector to reap the profits. Why would we pay without, and there again is not a lot of jobs. This is a capital intensive endeavor. It is not a labor intensive endeavor. So I'll close with this. We are so focused in this conversation on goods production and producing things. 75% of our GDP and 80% of our jobs are in the service sector. That's what people want as they age. Less stuff, more services. That's what people want when they have more money and have the basics, more services. And there are crickets on that front in this election. And I'm not hearing much from my colleagues either. I have a whole lot more I can say about that, but I'm just saying we're kind of missing the elephant in the room. The biggest part of our economy is in the service sector. It is not at risk, and yet we are likely to lose chunks of it because we are not paying attention to how the goods sector is tied to the service sector.